How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ethan Bridge and I'm host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast and the guy behind the Instagram page at The Marketing Ethan. Now today I wanted to talk a little bit about selling and why particularly your content alone isn't going to persuade someone to buy from you. It's a part of the process, but you cannot just expect to post multiple pieces of content consistently and then get a constant stream of leads. It doesn't work like that. Your content is a tiny cog in the bigger picture. So without any further ado, let's just dive into some of the things that you need to be doing alongside that content creation in order to get someone to actually buy from you. But let's start with that piece of content first, because this is where it does begin, because it is one of the ways that you do truly show your expertise to the people that follow you, to the people that are interested in what you say. Your content, and I've said this time and time again on the podcast, needs to cater to the needs and the wants of your audience. When you cater to the needs and the wants of your audience, you solve their problems. And when you can show to these people that you can solve their problems, and you can do it on a consistent basis, this helps build that authority, which in turn also builds that trust. Trust is the main thing we are trying to build with our audience, because without trust, we are never, ever going to sell anything. So you'll hear me mention the word trust quite a lot in this episode, but it's the main thing we're trying to achieve. So it is actually really, really important. The more touch points you have with an individual, the more likely that they are going to buy from you. Because the more touch points they're having with you and your brand, they're realizing what you do, how you do it, how good you are at doing it, and then why they should actually buy from you. And when they understand all of these things, that's when they actually buy from you. Your content alone isn't going to do that. But as I said, it is a major part of it, because creating interesting, engaging, educational content on social media is going to be one of the things that keeps bringing them back to you. It might be where they found you, so it might be one of the main touch points they have with you. But aside from your content, let's talk about a few of the other things that you can also have to help build that trust. Next, you've got engagement. Another thing that we talk far too much about on this podcast. You may find your potential client or this ideal client through engagement in the first place. I've spoken about niche hashtag outreach in the past. It's where you search on hashtags that you know your ideal customer is going to be using and begin engaging with that content, because that gets your potential client to notice you. Before that, they probably didn't know you existed. But now, because you've commented on their post, you may have sent them a DM, you may have just simply liked their post, but that could have grabbed their attention. And in turn, they've come to your page, followed you, and now they're consuming your content. That's step number one. And then that's where your content comes into play, because it's going to be what keeps bringing them back and building that trust from that perspective. So now we started building that trust from two ways. We've got your post and your engagement, because you're going to keep doing that engagement consistently. You can't expect one piece of engagement to yield a client. It's not going to work like that. You may have to comment 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 times before you grab their attention in the first place. So you've got to turn on those post notifications for those ideal clients and make sure you were the first person commenting on that content every single time. When you do that, they will notice you. And if you do it consistently, that's when they're going to come to your page, see what you're about, follow you, and then start showing interest. So we're posting good content, we're engaging. What next? That person may visit your website. On Instagram, you get that URL link. It may not be specifically to a website. You don't need a website to get a client. But having a further bit of social proof in that URL link is key. It could be another social media platform. It could be a link to a free ebook. It could be links to templates. It could be anything. But it's something that's going to help further build that trust, because it's another touch point. If you've got a website and someone visits it and they can see previous testimonials, they see that you're an established business already. That may not be the case for many, but some people might be running a successful agency. And when somebody comes to your website, they're going to see that you've worked with previous clients and go, oh, I know them. And the fact that this agency's worked with them, cool, that does really show me that they are an expert in their field. But they wouldn't have known that if you didn't have that other touch point with them. And in turn, that next touch point of your website has built even more trust. So now they've seen 3 things. They've seen your content, they've seen your engagement, they've seen your website, which has other testimonials on it. What next? You could go the extra mile and reach out to them on another platform. You might have connected with them on Instagram. Fine, great. That is more of a casual social media platform. Why not connect with them on LinkedIn? Show them that you've seen them on your Instagram. Show that you've seen them show interest with your content. You can see that they've come onto your website. You can see that they are interested. So now you know that if you send them a connection request on LinkedIn, it's likely that they're going to accept because they know who you are. Now you're in a more professional environment. People on LinkedIn, that's more of a platform for industry professionals. So now you're connecting with them on that platform. There's more of that professional setting for you to have a conversation about a potential collaboration or having them as a client, setting up that discovery call. It's not difficult. You're adding another touch point. Another touch point, more trust. It's not rocket science. But you would have noticed there, I incorporated direct messaging. The only place you're going to truly build a relationship with someone is if you direct message them. Show genuine interest in this person. It's highly unlikely that you're going to convert someone simply through the content you produce. You might, it's definitely not impossible, but it's unlikely if they haven't had a conversation with you personally prior to a discovery call that they will close the deal unless they're super interested. But moving on from that, with a direct message, you can show genuine interest in this individual. Show genuine interest on what they're building, their life, where they're from, their business, anything, their problems, you can solve them in the direct messages. It's a far more intimate setting than in the comments section. There's that one-to-one personal connection, and once you've built that relationship with them in the DMs, you can then pretty much leverage that relationship, get them on a discovery call, and turn them into a client. So if you are doing that niche hashtag outreach, like I'm saying, or you have had a potential client you see consistently engaging with your content and you're consistently engaging with theirs, send them a DM. The selling on Instagram happens in the direct messages, or in any platform, it happens in the direct messages. Because that is where you get that one-to-one connection. You can really find out what that person's problems are and how you can then potentially solve them. That's when you then suggest the discovery call, and then on the discovery call, that's where you close them as your client. But it's another touch point, one of the major touch points in my opinion, because that is where you can truly build that relationship. And when you truly build that relationship, you have that thing we want, which is trust. Trust, trust, trust. Now, a couple more things that I did want to mention that could even further build trust is someone may not want to buy from you instantly. They may want a taster of what you can provide them. So having a free lead generation product, such as a mastermind, such as a webinar, such as a free ebook, such as some guides, templates, anything along those lines that are easily scalable, so you can have a download link to easily send them to them, or a pre-recorded webinar, something that you're not having to show up for and use your own personal time over and over again. It's just something that someone can click on and access instantly. You just have to record it and edit it once, assuming it's a webinar. But that gives them a taster into how you are. Let's say you're a coach, your coaching style and the expertise you can portray by the way you speak, the way you act, the way you teach. Because they may not want to work with you or potentially hop on a discovery call until they truly understand how you are as a teacher, as a coach. So giving them that inside look through an ebook or a webinar is a perfect way to settle those nerves and make sure that they are fully confident when they come onto that discovery call, which in turn makes it much more likely to close them. And you've provided them with some free value there. A lot of people would charge for that sort of thing. So if you've been the person that's been willing to give that for free in the first place, they're going to be thankful for that. That's further built that trust, which is what we want. Now, the final thing you could do is potentially just run some paid ads. It's really easy, and especially with Facebook ads, to target the exact people you want to. The interest targeting on Facebook ads is phenomenal. If you want to target someone that likes social media marketing, in the interest, select social media marketing. If you wanted to, you could target someone who likes red jumpers, also likes Instagram, also likes Facebook, also likes social media marketing, who lives in a really specific area of the country you live in, and that person will see the ad you've produced through Facebook ads because that's where you set the interest at. So you can get super, super targeted with who sees your ads, which in turn could turn that person into a customer or client. It's just another touch point which builds that trust. The more people see you, the more people are going to trust you. The more people trust you, the more likely they are to buy from you. So they are all the potential touch points that you could be building with your audience. Because when you accumulate all of these different touch points, let's assume you've done all of them. Let's assume you're producing content, you're engaging, you have a website that they've visited, you've connected with them on another platform, you're talking to them in the DMs, you've given them access to a free webinar or ebook, and you're running ads to these people. All of these touch points build that trust, and people will only buy from you when they trust you. And that wraps up today's video. If you did enjoy, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turned on post notifications. I did also just want to mention that this is a part of my podcast series, Social Media Marketing School, and the audio version of the podcast is the place to be. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure you head down to the links in the description because I will leave some links to the audio version of the podcast, so make sure you're subscribing over there. But if you've got any questions with regards to anything I've mentioned in today's video, please just reach out to me on Instagram at @themarketingethan, send me a DM, and I'll make sure I get back to you no matter what. But I did just want to finish off by saying, if you have made it to this point in the video, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.